Welcome, everybody. If you're catching us on the replay, feel free to comment because I will be coming back to the comments and answering any questions that you may have. If you are catching me live, welcome. Feel free to ask questions throughout the broadcast. So today I am talking about I'm answering the question, what organizing products do you recommend? So first of all, I'm Joanne Krall. I am the Sensible Organizer, and I've been a professional organizer for over 13 years now. And I get this question a lot. The first thing I will tell you is I don't recommend a lot of products. And that's not meaning that I don't recommend products specific to you, but I don't have a lot of products that I say, hey, everybody should use this, this, and this. I do have 3 products that I recommend the most often, and it really depends on the way you work. And today I'm strictly talking about products that are for physical things, physical items, paper, miscellaneous things that we have through our home. I will do another broadcast on my favorite tools that I use for organizing my digital life. They're completely separate things, so I didn't want to put them in one broadcast. So let me just quickly put my comments back on so I can make sure if anybody comments, I see it. I'm going to do the same here on my phone because I know sometimes I will miss things. Okay. I'm not going to be able to get to it. So the first product that I'm going to talk about is one of my favorites. I'm getting there. Hold on 1 second. Let's make sure my volume's down. Okay, perfect. Okay. So again, I'm talking about our physical organization. So the first thing is for paper and filing. It is my label maker. This is a Dymo. Get it on there straight without the light. I don't know if I can do that. Can I do that? I'll stick it in, but that's the name of it, Dymo. It's the Dymo LetraTag. It is portable. I've actually had this one since I've been in business, so it's 13 years old, so it's still going strong. It just runs on regular batteries. The tape in it is very inexpensive. This is inexpensive. And also the best thing I love about it, there's no waste. If you've ever used a label maker and you see like a ton of tape at the end or in the beginning and the end, and there's a lot of space, there's a lot of waste. This does not waste. It pretty much just cuts off where you need it, which is awesome because it can add up if you're doing a lot of labeling. I love to label things. I label everything. So that's my first thing. And so if you do any kind of paper organization, this is great for filing systems, but it's also great to label things, containers that you might be using in your kitchen, because you can do little fancy fonts in there too. It doesn't have to be just plain old regular type. Anything, I used to label the shelves in my linen closet so that everybody knew where the queen sheets went, the twin sheets, the towels, and all of that. Now we pretty much have a system down, so the labels don't need to be there, but it's really helpful. It's helpful for kids stuff and all of that. So that's my first thing, favorite. This is old. When you go to look for this now, it'll look a lot more modern. Like I said, it's 13 years old and it's still going strong, so it's really good. So that's the first thing. The second thing I recommend is strictly for paper management. My life is very digital, but I still get a lot of paper, and I think we all do. I don't think we're ever going to get to that fully digital world, and maybe we will, but we've been talking about it for probably 20 years now, and I've yet to see it. In fact, it seems like there's even more paper than there was 20 years ago. So the next thing that I often recommend to people, not to everybody, but if it's going to work for you, is this is a folder. So this is a poly folder. Let's see if I can open it properly. I've emptied it somewhat, so I don't have anything sensitive in there. But it's really just flip that over. Well, this is fun for demonstration. It's tabbed. So there's this one has 10 pockets, so I can have different categories in it. And for me, this one is for my personal stuff. I have one for my business as well. But for me, I have stuff that I want to do today. You'll see that I had a picture of a saxophone. I have that in my today thing, but I've been trying to sell my daughter's saxophone for a long time. So if you know anybody that wants a semi-professional saxophone, alto sax, yeah. But I have it so that anything that I'm doing today, then I have a category. I'm very broad with my categories on my to-do list. I have soon, and then I have this year. You could have today, this week, next month. I love label makers too, Lori, and I love that I can see your comment. And look, I'm going to put your comment up there so everyone can see your comment. Woohoo! They are everything. And then I also have like a section for to pay. That's where I keep my bills that don't come in electronic form, because there are still those. And I also keep my sheet. So I pay all my bills electronically. So I just have a little sheet that I print out each month to make sure that I'm getting all of the bills, because some bills come in paper, some come digitally through the bank, some come through email. And so it's really making sure that I cover every single bill. And then I just have like a to read section in the back. So I put like anything that I may have printed out. I don't do that as much as I used to. So that's really my favorite thing. Now for my business, I have one where I have a section for ideas. I have a section for expenses because I still get some paper expenses before I actually scan them. I have a section for, I used to have a section for leads. Now everything's digitally, so I don't really do that anymore. I used to have intake forms and things like that. So anything that you have for paper, these are great, because what I do with these, so let me step back a section. I'm a piler, right? I think I've told you that a bunch of times through these things. I love to have piles. I'm very visual and I need things out. What this allows me to do is it allows me to create a pile that's actually contained. So it's neat on my desk, but it's out and it's in my face, right? It can see it. And I'm able to grab this on the go as well, which is good. So I can grab my pile and I can go work on it in the car if I'm waiting for somebody for an appointment or anything like that. So I love these if you do have paper stuff. So that's something I recommend super often. Now, the third thing I have, I'm not going to hold anything up, because the third thing that I recommend for a lot of people is, let me just go back and put I'm going to put this up. I'm going to put this in comments too. I have a little PDF download for this next one. I love the over the door shoe rack, not necessarily for shoes, because one of the spaces in our homes and our offices that get the least, they're a wasted space for organizing, is the back of a door. So, and it could be the back of an actual door to the room, which I do have on one of my things. Some people don't like that because they don't like to see the stuff. But backs of closet doors, if you can, are great to utilize. And if you don't want the actual things showing over, you hang them over, you can actually nail these right into the door if it's a solid door to hang your stuff. So over the door shoe rack is one of the thing that I recommend the most, because it is great for holding small items. And right here on the screen, I'll put it in the comments so you can click on it. I have just a quick one-page PDF of all the different ways that you can use an over-the-door shoe rack. For myself, I use it for, I have one in my bedroom because I don't have a lot of space. We have a really small home. I don't have a lot of space to keep my toiletries, my makeup and stuff. So I actually have everything on the back of my bedroom door in one of those. And I have it in clear pockets so I can see. But if you didn't want to see the mesh, you could get a nicer one that's actually, you can't see through. And then you could put little like pretty labels on it, or you could label it, or maybe you just know where everything is. So it's great for holding small toiletries. I have one, we would use one for the back of our coat closet to keep mittens, hats, maybe a flashlight if you need it to go out on the door, like any dog leashes and things like that. Anything that you might be using on the way out the door, like sunscreen, sunglasses, even your keys maybe. So it's a really good way to keep stuff. Now, the other way I haven't put this on the PDF, but the other way I use that product too, not me personally, but when I help people, there are a lot of people who like to stash, right? We've talked about stashers in past videos. And so that someone's coming over and they quickly clean everything up, and they either throw it in a bag or they throw it in a bin and they throw it in a closet. And then it just gets out of sight, out of mind. A lot of times this happens with mail. So having one of those on the back of one of your doors as a place where you can quickly stash things is good, because you could have it so that you're actually, putting things away in a way that you'll be able to find them again. They'll be on the back of the door. They won't be hidden away and not to be found again and just kind of all clumped together. So you kind of organize things. So say you're like, oh, I got to clean up my mail. You put all your mail in one of the little slots. Oh, I have all these little miscellaneous, pens or whatever, or kids toys, like the toys that, escape, the little pieces that need to go back in the stuff, but you don't, you just put them all in one little thing, and then you can put them away later and you'll know where they are. So those are my 3 products that I recommend the most. I'm just going to look at my screen because I want to make sure I'm not seeing anything. Because see, what happens is, I'm in this one, there's comments. Oh, hello, Nazim from Italy. Oh, would love to be in Italy right now. You're not a fan of shoe racks. You're not a fan of them. Oh, that's interesting. And you meaning not for shoes, right? For what everything that I'm talking about. Um, and I'd love to know why you're not a fan of them. Just maybe the look. That could be it, because that is true for some people. And that's why a lot of times I'll tell people put them on the back of the door so they're out of sight, out of mind. You open up your linen closet and there it is. Maybe find those doors where they're not going to be kind of in the place. And I don't use them for shoes. My daughter has one that she uses for shoes though. And hello, Adam, welcome. You've downloaded that PDF. Oh, you already downloaded it. Oh, good. I haven't even put it in the comments yet. You're proficient. Yeah. So again, talking about, when people ask me like, what do you recommend to organize, say, your closet? That's a loaded question. I need to know what size closet you have, what type of stuff you have. Maybe just depending on the house, whether things are going to hold, how long are you going to live there? Those are all questions that I need to know. It's the look. Yeah, I get that. I totally get that. And so it's definitely not for everybody. But unless you have doors where you can hide them. And then trying to think of like another example. Just what I really want to say is that I like to repurpose as much as you already have. So say you're looking for an organization system for something and you have a bookcase that you're not using and it can be moved to another room. So I like to repurpose things as much as possible. I don't like people spending a lot of money on organizing things. And I don't like to just say, hey, go out and buy all of this. I really need to know what your situation is, and not just what your current situation is, what your future situation is, because people always kids are a great example. What can I use to organize my kids? Well, how old are they? What kind of toys do they have? That's going to change probably in a couple of years because, the big giant blocks that they have go to little tiny Lego, and the same thing you may have invested a ton of money on is not going to work for you later on. So those are the type of things we think of. She had one on the back of the door. She made it. Oh, that's awesome. That would be a great thing. People making those, because like Nazim doesn't like the look of them. Imagine if you could have something that like looked aesthetically really nice. I would love that. So I'm going to put that up what I'm talking about, because sometimes I forget that. Adam just said his grandmother had one on the back of the door that she made, and I think that's cool. That is really, really cool. That's like a nice thing to pass down too. So yeah, I'm just reading one more comment. Yeah, throwing things in a box when you're in a rush is something that many, many people do. It's easy, and at the moment you think, oh, I'm just going to throw it all in this box, and it'll all be in there, and I'll know where it is. And some people will get to it. They'll get to it, and it'll be fine. And sometimes I'll recommend that to people. Like, if you're the type of person that will go through that box or bin, feel free to do that, but make sure you give yourself a time limit, and that you make sure you go through it, because otherwise it just gets crazy. And use the same thing all the time. Have one box that you use for stashing. Don't give yourself, well, that one's full, I'm going to get another one, or I'm just going to grab a bag today and do that. So be consistent with your stashing. And that's why I always say it's okay to be a stasher. You just have to be consistent and have systems in place to deal with your stashing. So thank you guys for joining. I'm so happy people were here today. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them now, because I'll stay on for a minute, because it's so nice to actually have people live. And I think I can put I'm not in my group. Lori and I talked about this night, about commenting on StreamYard. We can't do it in groups, but for some reason we can do it on the pace. But now I don't have the link in front of me, so I was going to put the comment right in here. I'll do it afterwards. But yeah, feel free to download that PDF I have if you're interested in using the shoe rack. Oh, and I should say, so these can be found. I think I bought this at Walmart years ago, but probably any office product store or whatnot. And this particular one, the way I have it here, it's just like a book. There's no little stringy thing on it. These I got at Office Max. And I don't know if they still have them, the Office Max brand, but they're just called 10 Pocket Poly Organizers. List all that in here as well. and I'll put links. And then Staples has their own brand that actually is, I don't think it's their own brand. I think it's Globe Weiss. And theirs is also 10 pocket poly, but it has a little elastic thing, which some people like that because they like everything tucked away. And then, you know, there's other brands. I think I've purchased some at Target for people. They're different. But you know, they all serve their purpose. I've had the only thing I had to like staple this thing. I've had this one for almost as long as I've been in business as well. And that's why I say I don't know if they still have them. And obviously over the door shoe racks you can get anywhere. But yeah, so thank you all for joining. I'm going to head out. What did I keep this one to? You're trying to see the time. 15 minutes. That's okay. People are here. So if nobody has any questions, I don't see any other comments, but I'm going to go in here in case the other people can't comment. No, we're good. All right. So have an awesome day and see you next week. Next week is, yeah, I'll be here next week, I believe. I'm going to maybe take off a week or two over the holidays. And then when I come back in January, I'm hoping I'm going to reach out to my fellow organizers who have agreed to come on and talk with me. I'm going to maybe try to have them come in January because that January is Get Organized Month with NAPO, which is the National Association. It used to be National Association of Professional Organizers. Now it's the National Association of Productivity Experts. And I should know that. I don't. Anyways, I am a member. Have an awesome day, everyone.